Hello everyone, Jabman025 here. Today I'm taking a look at my fifth real grade kit, the FX550 Skygrasper from the series Mobile Suit Gundam Seed. And basically the Skygrasper is playing with weapon packs for the strike. And after building it, I kind of think this was going to be one kit in the first place, but they decided to split up into two, probably to save price. But let's have a look and see what we got. Now, first thing you notice about this kit is there are a lot of tiny parts. I mean, a lot of tiny parts. You're basically building a 1/100th plane here. The canopy opens up. You're going to be using your tweezers a lot on this kit. There are some very small parts that you will lose and have to find again. I know, I've lost a couple. There are some... This is a bit of an oddball build. You will see some things that you've already built on the strike, like the back there. They look like the shoulders, for obvious reasons. But again, lots of small parts. Oddball ways of putting them in. It's not exactly a difficult build, but you got to be very careful when building this. Lots of small parts, easily breakable parts. Don't rush this thing. You see the cannon on top swivels, moves up and down. And you can see underneath you have these little latches, little off gray sections. You can remove those and attach the landing gear. As so. They just snap right into place, hold fine. It does have a bit of a lean forward, that's so you can attach the backpacks if you want. You can see I did some lining here. Not a ton of lining on this kit. Fairly similar to the strike in that regards. Some lining, not a ton to do though. But like I said, lots of small parts, so take your time. Decals, for the most part, looks pretty good. There is a few spots on this kit, namely up near the cockpit, where it does get a little NASCAR, i.e. decal next to a decal, next to another decal, next to another decal, next to another decal. Kind of overloads it in places. It's not terrible overall, but there are some spots where like, okay, you're overdoing it a bit. Stick it on an action base. Great plug, no problem. This doesn't weigh anything, so no real weight issues at all if you want to get it airborne. Now, weapon packs. If you move the back pieces, slide them back, lift the latches, and plug in these two snap-on parts, you can attach the ale pack. Shield goes on the right-hand side, gun goes on the left, hook up just fine, and the ale pack snaps into the back. I didn't think this was a very good connection. I was worried about it, but I set it up and I let it set for about 2 days. Nothing fell, no problems. So it looks like a loose connection, but it's good, no problems. Next up, weapons packs. First up, the sword pack. They give you this little attachment here, kind of quasi-torso to attach to an action base. You can have it this floating there, Hall of Armor, I guess, sort of way. It's nice. You probably never use it, but it's nice. It's good for putting decals on, which you can see I've already done. Not as many decals here as on the Skygrasper, obviously. The attachment's fairly simple. The claw goes underneath. The sword hooks into the backpack, which hooks into the back, and it goes through the wing. And if I turn it around, there we go. The shoulder armor just hooks right on top. You just build that over the kind of shoulder that's already there. Launcher, same deal. You can flip the stand around. I like the decals a little bit better on the launcher. And you got this swivel system a la Buster Gundam, somewhat, on the gun here. That swivel system is a gigantic pain in the butt. Getting any kind of decent pose is, what's the word I'm looking for? Aggravating as hell. Anywho. Now you have to add this little attachment here to attach this to the Skygrasper. And there you go. The shoulder armor hooks into that little attachment, so you do have to add one extra piece, and it's very tiny and it's easy to lose. Be careful. Like I said, getting that gun swiveled around in just the right way, just aggravating as sin, but it can be done. Now, the Gundam actually holding the sword, no real problem. As big as this sword is, it holds it just fine. It gives you a pair of clamp hands that come with the Skygrasper, pardon me. And The standard hand can hold that mini sword, or beam boomerang rather, if you want. But lots of beam effect parts, looks real good. And you can see the claw underneath the arm. They do give you a little cord if you want to extend it out. Meh, I never thought that was all that interesting on the strike, but whatever. The launcher. If I mentioned it's a pain to pose with this, getting that swiveled around under the arm and so it can hook into the hand is just aggravating sin. It took me a long time to swivel it just the right way. Probably because it's on the backpack. On the Buster, it had a little more on the hips and it made it a little easier to use, but yeah, it's a pain. But it does look good, especially that Gatling gun on the shoulder. It does have a good look to it. And if you remove both backpacks and just hold the gun and just hold the sword and attach the ale packs, you can get the perfect strike. Everything's on there. The wings, both shoulder armors. It's holding both weapons. There's no real swivel anymore. And it looks really neat. Obviously, this is so big, it's got to be on action base. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Also, this is pretty much the only decent pose you can get out of it. So you can do a little bit more, but the packs are kind of loose now, and it's tough to hold up all the weapons, and enjoy their one pose, but that's about it. My personal favorite is the sword pack. You can do lots of poses with it. Doesn't have any trouble holding. You can double hand it like I got here. You can see there's all sorts of stuff with it. Accessories, all these different, like I said, I think this was originally meant to be as one big kit, and they split it up for whatever reason. Final thoughts on this kit. I'm giving this kit a thumbs up for what it is. If you don't have the real grade strike, you have no reason to buy this. If you have the real grade strike, you have no reason not to buy this. It just gives you more weapons, more poses. You can make it look any way you want. Like I showed you all those accessories. You can do all sorts of stuff with this kit. But if you don't have the real grade strike, there's no real point. If you do have the real grade strike, you'd be silly not to buy it. It's only an extra $20 or so. 25 with shipping. But yeah, go ahead and pick it up if you got the real grade strike. Just gives you more stuff to add on to it. It's basically a big accessory pack. It's a good big accessory pack. Thumbs up. Good kit. Well, gang, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this review. Hope you found it informative. If you got any questions, please ask them. I will answer them as best as I can. Please stay tuned for more. We got more reviews coming up soon. And I'll see you guys next time. Oh, and one more thing.
Don't judge me.